chisel.
Let the hunt begin.
What up, Tonto? Chillin', man. I'll call and see if I can bum a ride to the block. Okay, well, I guess I'll go out. After 4, if I find another ride, just let you know. What time is it, 2? What time is it, like 2 or 1 something? Alright. I'll probably find a ride before then. I'll just call you if I don't know. Take my kill and shit. Some fucked up shit.
This gets to the point.
An ally has been slain. Let me find you some.
Get out of this. Always be prepared.
An ally has been slain. Killing spree. An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain. Shut down!
Behind you!
An ally has left the game. Killing spree!
Release me, I command you!
Double kill! An enemy has been slain. Just you and me. Give me Lord Shiva. Let the eternal dark rest. An enemy has been slain.
Get out of this.
Doing my shit with this bitch. I like her.
Minions have reached your portal.
Get out of this.
No. Double kill. Minions have reached your portal. Rampage.
Mr. Wilson, you've recently been diagnosed with terminal cancer.
This gets to the point.
What if I told you we can cure you and give you abilities most men only dream of? I'd say that you sound like an infomercial. Not a good one, like Slap Chop, or Shake Weighty. If I never see you again, know that I love you.
When I'm finished, the mutated cells will heal anything. But you still think we're making you a superhero? We're making you a super slave. Oh, come on.
You gonna leave me all alone here with Jose Canseco? Whatever they did to me made me totally indestructible and completely unfuckable.
You look like the inside of other people's assholes.
I didn't ask to be super.
Is a day for trust. The world needs to know what happened. Needs to know what he stands for. That kind of power is very dangerous. Let the record show that this committee holds him responsible.
That's how it starts. The fever. The rage that turns good man. Cruel.
This bat vigilante is like a one-man reign of terror. You don't get to decide what the right thing is. Nobody cares about Clark Kent taking on the Batman.
This means something. It's all some people have. It's all that gives them hope. People hate what they don't understand. Be their hero, Clark. Be their angel. Be their monument. Be anything they need you to be. Or be none of it. You don't know this world a thing. You never did.
Do you know the oldest lie in America, Senator? Devils don't come from hell beneath us. They come from the sky.
20 years in Gotham, how many good guys are left? How many stayed that way? He has the power to wipe out the entire human race.
While a great many people see you as a hero, there are some who prefer the word vigilante. You operated with unlimited power and no super.
Hello? 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 Hello?
That's something the world can no longer tolerate.
And know how much Bucky means to you. Stay out of this one. Please. You'll only make this worse.
You saying you'll arrest me? There will be consequences. Captain, you seem a little defensive. If you can't accept invitations, we're no better than bad guys. That's not the way I see it. Sometimes I want to punch you in your perfect teeth. I just want to make sure we consider all our options. Because people that shoot at you usually wind up shooting at me too.
You know what's about to happen. Do you really want to punch your way out of this?
What do? We fight.
You wander through the willows in the forest you found.
I've been holding many things for many lifetimes. Ram, Krishna, Yahweh.
Ever since the world found out about mutants, there have been secret societies who see them as some kind of second coming or sign of God. They believe that tens of thousands of years ago, an ancient being was born, the world's first.
Mutant. You are all my children. And you're lost. Because you follow blind leaders. But I am here now. I'm here for you.
Wherever this being was, he always had 4 followers he would imbue with power.
Like the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Got that one from the Bible.
Or the Bible got it from him.
What is it? Oh, God. He can control all of us. The world needs the X-Men.
That's why I'm here. To fight.
Not all of us can control our powers.
Then don't. This is war.
Everything they built will fall! And from the ashes of their world, we'll build a better one!
Recital. Bogey's on the bus. I think it's very vital. Hit the button. What button? There are a million buttons. Whoa!
Here we go!
What are you? Superheroes?
Just 4 brothers who hate bullies and love this city.
Whoa, this never works out well for you. What's your name?
It's Joe.
One question. Did you guys like a thing?
For years, our world has been at peace. But something is coming. I can feel it. The dark forces are upon us.
Find these beasts, or whatever they are.
Our world is dying. There is nothing to go back to. If our people are to survive, we must make a home here. Whatever happens.
Whatever happens.
If we do not unite, our world will perish.
This doesn't need to happen. There is one who may help us.
For orcs, there is no other life but war.
See, they're just trying to get a trophy for all of them.
Are you the devil?
some kind of suicide squad.
Let's go save the world.
My name is Remy LaBelle. To my enemies, escape me.
You say it was just one guy? Or a creature?
The idea of the movie.
Very powerful neighbor.
Gambit movie. Why the fuck I ain't have the time for that? I think you kind of weak ass superhero.
Business. First it's seeing reality of the lives of mad, trapped people in this menagerie. I'm thinking of squarely accepting my profession as a man.
Hello? What up? Yeah, I was just saying, whatever what you call, what they said, getting it fixed, but
This gets to the point. Under attack.
so he's still not driving.
Your middle tower is under attack. An enemy has been slain. An enemy has been slain. Double kill.
Alright, I'm gonna find a way to the block somehow.
has been slain. Beard, that was close. An enemy has left the game. Your middle tower is under attack. An enemy has been slain. Rampage! An enemy has returned.
Todd Parker.
Jeffy. Wow. Hey, how are you, man?
Where have you been? Still crushing the bitches and slapping the hose?
Not so much.
They must have named an STD after you by now. I swear you had like 30 different strands of chlamydia that one summer.
By the way, this is my wife.
Oh.
My little girl, Claudia.
Wow.
Jefferson.
Stephanie, you enjoy being attacked?
Something is just means to an end, really.
I have a boyfriend.
Okay.
Sorry, I was just trying to shut this down.
Shut what down?
This little banter we have going on. Banter usually implies exterior motives.
I'm not hitting on you.
Good.
Would you like me to?
No?
Seems like maybe you would like him to hit on you. Call him like I see him.
That is really gross. People poop in there. I poop in there.
Spending your 20s finding yourself or whatever is a bunch of malarkey. All that leaves you is a biological clock ticking, going on eHarmony dates with men in their 40s who still collect action figures.
Parents haven't accepted my relationship status change.
I'm sorry if I refuse to take what we have and shout it to cyberspace so people can like it or comment on it whenever we put up a photo of ourselves.
It might shock you, but I'm actually looking for something way more than a label.
Go after her.
This gets to them.
Okay, don't. That's cool. I feel completely adrift in every aspect of my life.
Hey, got you a drink. Hope you don't mind germs, because I took a little sip there.
For my migraines and anxieties, totally legal. Man, it's 10:30 in the morning. What is it you kids say? It's 4:20 somewhere.
Go eat some lunch.
What are we going to talk about?
The weather.
I like to be tied up.
I want to talk about that.
Always be prepared.
This is Santa Dupree. Oh, hey, how y'all doing? Just open those tulips. That'll do. Today's our 1-year anniversary.
Your wife is a very lucky girl.
I'm lucky.
Come on, man.
I'm so sorry I messed up, okay?
Sorry that you got caught. It's time that y'all deal with the consequences of your actions. Every time I look at her, I'm gonna see you.
Either you shoot me or you let me go.
You wanna put a little magnum and do it all on his face?
You probably deserve to die to treat you this way.
This is avenge not yourselves. Give unto wrath. For it is written that vengeance is mine!
a presidential race, sir.
Every day the same damn folk.
Today's episode of Variant is brought to you by Netflix. Today on Variant, I count down my top 10 favorite superheroes of all time. Welcome to Variant, where we love comics, one that feeling of when you get 2 bags of chips or candy out of the vending machine when you only paid for 1. I'm your host, Eris Quinones. Today I'm going to be counting down my top 10 favorite superheroes, which can I just say was extremely difficult. Like, it took me almost an hour to settle on the list difficult, and even still there are a couple ties on my list because I'm just so attached to so many characters in comics and grew up reading and following them since I was like 5 and will continue to do so until I'm so old I forget how to read. But after much deliberation, I have settled on my list, so let's start from number 10, working our way up to number 1. Number 10 and kicking off this countdown is a tie between Deadpool and Captain America. Deadpool first debuted in New Mutants issue 98 in February of 1991. Deadpool eventually became super popular, and for a good reason. He's hilarious, always having quips and just saying funny things all the time. He's also self-aware he's inside of a comic book, which is awesome and makes for some pretty funny moments. Not to mention he has one of the best healing factors in all of comics, along with arguably being the best assassin in all of comics, so that makes him the bee's knees. As for Captain America, he first appeared in Captain America issue 1 in March of 1941. Captain America is just one of those characters that if he didn't make his way somewhere on anyone's top 10 superheroes list, it would just be kind of weird, as he's one of the handful of comic characters that had a huge impact in the comic industry as a whole. Captain America is the classic tale of the small guy coming out on top and being able to make a difference. I mean, come on, we all wish we could get some super soldier serum, get rocked, have an awesome shield, and then save the day, because that would be amazing. Coming in at number 9 is the fastest man alive, The Flash. He first appeared in Flash Comics issue 1 in January of 1940.
You sucking today, CJ.
The Flash over the years, like the first Flash, Jay Garrick, all the way to the most widely known Flash, Barry Allen. So, some of you may be asking, Eris, which Flash would you be talking about? Well, I'd be referring to Barry Allen in the Wally West Flashes. I've always loved the Flash. The whole idea of being able to move so fast you can vibrate through solid objects and even time travel has always fascinated me since I was a youngin'. Not to mention, he's one of the original members of the Justice League and has some of the coolest fighting scenes in comics since everything with him is in super fast motion. So fast, he even gives Superman a hard time while trying to catch him. He also was one of the best parts of the Justice League and Justice League Unlimited cartoons. Making his way to number 8 is the Hulk. The Hulk made his first appearance in The Incredible Hulk issue 1 in May of 1962. The Hulk is pretty much one of the coolest characters in all of comic books. Reason being, because he's just a dude, Bruce Banner to be exact, that turns into a huge, raging, practically unstoppable monster when he gets mad, which I think is one of the coolest concepts for a character ever. And as we all know, the madder he gets, the stronger he gets. But it wasn't always getting mad that turned Dr. Banner into the Hulk. Originally, it was the moon that turned him into the Hulk, much like a werewolf, but that eventually changed, and definitely for the better. Along with being just a super cool, monstrous hero that just likes to smash things and destroy anything that gets in his way, his human form, Dr. Bruce Banner, is one of the smartest people in the Marvel Universe. And on top of that, the Hulk is one of the strongest characters in all of comics. So strong, he can even pull off those purple shorts. At number 7, we have the last tie on my list with Iron Man and Thor. Iron Man made his first appearance in Tales of Suspense issue 39 in March of 1963. A lot of people only know of Iron Man because of the success of his movies in the Avengers films, but as I just said, he's been around since 1963, and in my opinion, has always been one of the coolest superheroes. I mean, he has a plethora of armors that can do anything his brilliant mind can come up with, and he's a billionaire that can get any woman he wants. It doesn't get much cooler than that. As for the God of Thunder, Thor, he first appeared in Journey into Mystery 83 in August of 1962. What I always thought was awesome about Thor is, yes, he's a superhero, but first and foremost, he's a god, which I always thought was a really cool concept. You have this god from Asgard who's super powerful, and he defends and fights for Earth. And the way he flies by spinning his hammer really fast, I always thought was a really creative way to make him fly, instead of just the typical, he's a god or super being, of course he can fly, what explanation do you need? But he's a god who's a superhero with an awesome hammer that he can control thunder with. I don't think I need to say anything more. My number 6 pick is Martian Manhunter. He first appeared in Detective Comics issue 225 in November of 1955. Martian Manhunter is easily one of the strongest superheroes in the DC universe. He's so powerful, in fact, that he was recently picked for the new Justice League of America team purely to fight Superman if Superman ever got out of line. So that right there should tell you how powerful he is. He's an alien whose planet and race has been destroyed, so he now defends Earth and is currently on the Justice League of America team. He has multiple powers, like shape-shifting, reading minds, flight, super strength, and the list goes on and on. He has a very calm intellectual demeanor about him, which just makes him even cooler, all while being this powerful alien much like Superman, since Superman is also technically an alien. Plus, he just looks freaking awesome, and even if you haven't read him in the comics, you can probably still relate if you've seen the Justice League cartoons, which he was great in. Making his way to my top 5 at number 5 is Nightwing. Nightwing first appeared in Tales of the Teen Titans issue 44 in July of 1984. Nightwing and/or Dick Grayson was the first Robin and definitely the most skilled Robin and protege Batman has ever had, though the other Robins like Tim Drake, Jason Todd, and so on are highly skilled as well. Dick Grayson definitely surpasses them all, so much so that after Batman's apparent death, he took over the mantle of Batman for a while and made Damian Wayne the new Robin. Nightwing has always been a cool character to me. He's essentially an extension of Batman, which is probably part of the reason why I like him so much. But at the same time, he's completely his own deal and different than Bruce. And he has a bunch of cool gadgets like Batman. Most notable are his Eskremesticks that he carries on his back that he can also form a bow staff with. He also is extremely acrobatic, so he's like a more gritty version of Spider-Man. He's a character that will forever be one of my favorites because plain and simple, he's just freaking cool. Coming in at number 4 is Superman. Superman first appeared in Action Comics issue 1 in April of 1938. I don't think any best superheroes list could be complete without having Superman somewhere on the list. Without him, superheroes pretty much wouldn't exist, or at least the way we've come to know them. He's the superhero that started it all. So even if you're not a fan of Superman, I just think out of sheer respect for how his creation changed comics and how he was the start of the superhero genre we're so familiar with today, he would need to be on anyone's list. And on top of that, I just think he's one of the coolest superheroes. I mean, he's Superman. He can do anything pretty much, and he's argued to be the strongest superhero in all of comic books. But besides being super strong and being able to do practically anything, he's the epitome of a superhero. His interests and motives are always for the well-being of the innocent. He's the ultimate Boy Scout who's always striving to do the good and right thing, which is why so many people may not like him, but at the same time, which is why so many people do like him, like me. In my top 3 favorites at number 3 is Green Lantern. Green Lantern first appeared in All-American Comics issue 16 in July of 1940. There have been many people to don the Green Lantern ring, first of which was Alan Scott. But also, since the Green Lantern Corps is exactly that, a corps or group of lanterns, you probably want to know what Green Lantern I'm referring to. And I would be referring to Hal Jordan, followed closely by Kyle Rayner. First of all, I love how the Green Lanterns deal with space and intergalactic stuff. That's just always a win for me. And the concept of the Green Lanterns has always been awesome, I thought. I mean, the fact that you have this ring that can create anything your mind can think of, and or it's only as powerful as your will, is amazing. It just adds a lot to the characters. Plus, Green Lantern has one of my favorite villains ever, Sinestro, whose power ring is controlled by fear. So throw that all together, and you have a great character. At number 2 is Spider-Man. Spider-Man first appeared in Amazing Fantasy 15 in August of 1962. One of the many reasons why Spider-Man is so high on my list and I like him so much is because he's very relatable, and even with his superpowers, he has all the problems any normal person would have. Like, he's not rich, he doesn't always get the girl, but besides even just being relatable, he's hilarious while fighting villains, and his powers are awesome. I think his powers are so awesome that 6-year-old me would tie one end of a piece of rope to the upstairs banister and the other to my wrist, and then try to swing like Spider-Man slinging web through New York City. And of course my mom yelled stop in a panic, which I said, shh, no, I got this, clearly I'm Spider-Man. And I actually didn't say that at all. I actually stopped immediately because at the time she was much bigger and scarier than me. And he's one of the characters I attached myself to at a very young age. I always liked his costume design with the huge white eyes and the webbing everywhere. He just looks really cool. He has one of the 2 best rogues galleries in all of comics, I think, and as I always say, a hero is only as good as the villains he faces. And And finally, at number 1, and it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone that my number 1 pick is Batman. Batman first appeared in Detective Comics issue 27 in May of 1939. I've been a huge Batman fan ever since I was like 3 or 4, running around with the bat symbol on my chest and a cape around my neck. Batman is actually the character that got me into comic books, which from there on out opened a whole world of superheroes to me. Much like most people my age, I would watch the Adam West Batman reruns on TV, and then when I was around 6 and started reading comics, Batman the animated series came out, and it was official. Batman was the end-all be-all for me. And comic books in general then took over my life. Batman just looks freaking awesome, being all dark with the cool cape, stern demeanor, white eyes, pointy ears, and just striking fear into his enemies. It's the best concept ever, in my opinion. He's this guy whose parents were murdered in front of him, and from there on out vows to protect Gotham and the innocent from any threat that may oppose them. I mean, just like the saying goes, he is vengeance, he is night, he is Batman. It doesn't get much cooler than that. And if Batman wasn't BA enough on his own, his villains, in my opinion, make him that much more awesome. And as a whole, are the best villains of any character ever. I mean, again, that's just my opinion, but to me, hands down, Batman has the best villains, period. He has the Joker, Catwoman, Mr. Freeze, the Riddler, Bane, Clayface, and I can just go on and on for days. But those are just my 10 favorite superheroes, and a very brief summary of why I'm such a huge fan of all of them. But I know my list probably isn't what your list would be, so don't get all mad if a hero didn't make my list. We all have different favorite superheroes for different reasons, so post yours down below and let me know what your list would be. Netflix streams TV shows and movies directly to your home, saving you time, money, and hassle. As a Netflix member, you can instantly watch TV episodes and movies streaming directly to your PC, Mac, or right to your TV with your Xbox 360, PS3, or Nintendo Wii console, plus Apple devices, Kindle, and Nook. You can get a free 30-day trial membership by going to netflix.com/variants and signing up now. First up for Wednesday, November 13th, we have The Walking Dead issue 116. All-out war continues in the Walking Dead universe as the first battle of war rages on. Next, we have all-new X-Men issue 18. The X-Men are shaken to the core by the Battle of the Atom. Kitty Pryde is especially shaken by the events of the X-Men crossover with her students gone. What is Kitty to do? Now we have Justice League of America issue 9, a forever evil tie-in. Martian Manhunter literally claws his way out of the fire with one other member of the JLA on his side. But what are the chances of survival on a world run by the deadliest of supervillains? Here we have Superman Wonder Woman issue 2. Seeking help against Doomsday, Diana turns to her brother for weapons, but a more immediate threat is Apollo and the other gods. And finally, we have Batman issue 25. Batman's Zero Year reaches a new level as the Riddler sends Gotham City into total darkness. Dark City begins in this issue. Well, that brings another episode of Variant to a close. Now, some of you might be thinking his list was just all DC and Marvel, and there's a very simple explanation for that, because much like most people who grew up reading comics and following them, DC and Marvel is what I mainly grew up reading. Now, I'm not saying I don't like other characters from publishers like Image, Dark Horse, and so on, because I do. Like Spawn and Hellboy, I love. It's just DC and Marvel will always be closest to my heart since that's what I grew up with. But remember to like our Variant Facebook page, keep up with the show and all things comic related. You can also follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/Aris_Quinones. But I'll see you guys next week when I talk about all things comics. Ta-da!
From UFOs to ghosts and psychic powers, history is riddled with unexplained events. You can turn back now and learn the stuff they don't want you to know. Here are the facts. Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy are two of the most popular presidents in U.S. history. They were also both assassinated. Lincoln was shot in Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. on April 14, 1865, by an actor named John Wilkes Booth. On November 22, 1963, Kennedy was assassinated in Dallas, Texas. While each of these tragic events altered the course of the nation, political assassinations are not an uncommon occurrence throughout the world. These deaths may be the inevitable result of a power shift, coup d'etat, or scapegoating. But to some conspiracy theorists, the deaths of Lincoln and Kennedy aren't just disturbing, they are related. Here's where it gets crazy. Some conspiracy theorists believe that financial interests arranged for the assassination of these presidents. In Kennedy's case, they argue that he was murdered because of Executive Order 11110 from June 4, 1963, which authorized the U.S. Treasury to issue silver certificates and to coin standard silver dollars. To these conspiracists, the central issue here is that Kennedy was taking the power of creating cash from the Federal Reserve, which charges interest to the government when it issues currency. In Lincoln's case, David W. Balsinger and Charles E. Sellier Jr. argue that he was shot, at least partially, because of disagreements with international banking interests over the financing of the Civil War. Lincoln, allegedly rejecting the high interest rates set by the Bank of England and other financiers, worked with Congress to authorize the printing of greenbacks to pay for the war effort. Ultimately, according to these conspiracies, 2 U.S. presidents were killed for financial reasons as much as ideological differences. But could this actually be true? It is true that private financial entities have ousted world leaders in the past. In 1893, a group of businessmen and property owners banded together to create the Committee for Safety and overthrow the Hawaiian monarchy, eventually into the United States. Further examples may be seen in Guatemala and Honduras, where the United Fruit Company wielded deadly power with political and occasionally military support from the U.S. These countries were not annexed politically, but United Fruit used its influence to determine the country's leaders. In Economic Hitman, John Perkins claims that he was hired by the firm known as Chas T. Main to trap poor countries in debt, using underhanded methods to strong-arm these nations into privatizing resources and following the commands of the developed world. Yet undue corruption is not the same thing as assassination, and skeptics are also quick to point out several inconsistencies in these theories. In both cases, numerous factions wanted the president out of the picture. There is no solid proof connecting the issuance of greenbacks or Kennedy dollars to their assassinations. While it is true that questions remain regarding both murders, these events have become part of American folklore, and with time, increasingly exaggerated connections and coincidences are bound to be touted as fact. Is there a grain of truth somewhere in the theory? Given that 4 of the 44 U.S. presidents have been assassinated, the fatality rate seems surprisingly high. Yet political figures across the planet are inherently in dangerous positions, especially in times of domestic instability or financial upheaval. Assassinations, coup d'etat, and forced depositions are all too common in the turbulent world of international politics. And it's no secret that in the past, large private organizations have used their economic clout to change the state of a country's government. But does this still happen today? Skeptics maintain that the Kennedy and Lincoln assassinations, like those of most world leaders, were not orchestrated by any international banking cartel. The sheer level of organization and secrecy required would make the task impossible. But to conspiracy theorists, there's only one important question. Who's next?
Enemy ultimate incoming.
The Earth is home to some strange places that don't seem to fit into our understanding of the planet. These places are almost alien to us, yet they are found randomly all over the world. Some of these places seem to have no logical explanation as to why they are there. But nonetheless, they capture the imagination as if it were a painting from an artist's conception. Some of these places have escaped our detection right up to modern day. while others have been known since recorded history. In Scotland, Overtown Bridge has gained international attention for the shoot.
Hello? Hello? Alright, be careful, bro.
The heat bears down upon you.
Of dogs that have met their deaths here. Over 50 dogs have leaped to their deaths since it was built in 1895. Some dogs have jumped and lived, only to repeat their jump later and end their lives. It almost always seems to happen on clear days and on the same side of the bridge. They have all been long-nosed breeds, such as collies and labs. Why some dogs jump from this bridge remains a mystery. There are large sinkholes throughout the world. Most of them usually involve water, either from natural processes such as chemical dilution of carbonate rocks, or from leaking public utilities. Sinkholes can sometimes lift and fall 20 or 30 stories into the earth with little or no warning. Generally, sinkholes do not cause a huge loss of life, but they do cause millions in property damage. The island of the dolls in Mexico is where hundreds of dolls have been hung from the island vegetation. It is said that the island's inhabitant, a strange old hermit, began to hang the dolls after a young girl drowned in the area 50 years ago. It is believed he hung the dolls to ward off the ghost of the drowned girl. Today it stands as an eerie sight to most who visit the island. The Mountain River Cave in Vietnam is the largest known underground cavern in the world. The discovery of the cave, at least to the outside world, was not known until 2009. Before that, the local population avoided the cave due to strange whistling sounds coming from the cave from the river passing through it. The biggest room in the cave is over 600 feet high and 450 feet wide, large enough to house a skyscraper. The Mountain River Cave is the biggest known cave in the world, over 5 times bigger than the next biggest cave. Christ of the Abyss is a submerged bronze statue of Jesus off the coast of Italy. Placed there in 1954, near the place of the first Italian to use scuba gear, this statue attracts scuba enthusiasts from all over the world, creating a bizarre underwater place of worship.
Always be prepared.
Since its placement, similar statues have been put in the ocean around the world. In Juneau, Alaska, an ice cave was formed by a small stream that tunneled below the Mendenhall Glacier, creating beautiful ice caverns called the Mendenhall Ice Caves. It offers amazing sightseeing to explorers. The ice caves pose real danger to explorers, though, and entering the cave is a serious risk for anyone. Yet many adventurers flock to the site every year to see the breathtaking sights. The glacier's melting process is severe, where water drips from above and large pieces of ice fall regularly from the cave ceiling. Discovered in 1961, Don Juan Pond in Antarctica is the saltiest known body of water on Earth. This pond has over 18 times the salinity of the ocean, as compared to the Dead Sea, which is 8 times as salty. The deepest part of the pond is only about a foot, but due to its salinity, it rarely ever freezes solid. What creates the pinkish color of Lake Hillier in Australia has not been definitely proven, but is believed to be from either dye created by organisms or from bacteria living in the salt crust below the surface. The pictures of the lake look as though they've been photoshopped, but it is its natural color. There is a similar lake in France named Lake Retba. Both lakes have a high salt content. The Tianzai Mountains in China offer a spectacular view of strange rock formations. Translated as the Son of Heaven Mountains, these rock formations are truly unique and one of the most scenic ranges in the world. The Tianzai Mountains provide stunning views of peaks, which rise one after the other. As part of a government preserve, here there are other wonders to see, such as the Sea of Clouds. Other places not widely known gives one an eerie sensation, like the sunken yacht off the coast of Antarctica. It is rare to see anything man-made in Antarctica, since the continent is relatively untouched by man. Climbers from all over the world come to Trolltunga, Norway, to this famous rock formation. Each place is a physical record of history for us to observe, and each place tells a story of its own. Antelope Canyon, one of the most photographed canyons in the American Southwest. The Dansha formations in China seem out of place on this planet. There are many places on...
What's up? It's your boy Carcino. Let's do it. This is the truth behind the Method Man beef with, I guess, social media. Let's put it that way. But woo-wee, I will never forget this one. This was funny. I was cracking up. Method Man was in a basic bad mood. You know, he had a lot of stuff going on at the time. And nobody knew, because Meth don't really do that many interviews. And the reason why is because hip-hop was starting to transform into a tabloid frenzy. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's tabloid happy. So when you got the situation where everybody's jumping on every tabloid to show up and try to find something stupid to say, you know, Meth really went into that. Plus, he was upset with what was going on with his album. He had that, what was it, 432 or something like that, that album he had, 421. And that album was dope. It was better than that T-Cow prequel, which was the worst thing I've heard in I don't know how long. But anyway, Meth is in a bad mood. You know, he had some on his shoulder.
I am the hope of the universe. I am the answer to all living things that cry out for people.
Well, hello Dragon Super Fancy Song. I'm back, and what you guys can see by the title of this video now, it is true that with each week we're getting a new episode, but we're also getting closer and closer to the ending of the God of Destruction tournament. So, since it's nearing its end, the question that is beginning to spawn is, what's it gonna be the follow-up of Dragon Ball Super? What's it gonna be the next chapter? Where is this whole tournament leading up to? Is it going to be something greater, something bigger? That is the big question that is bugging everyone's mind at this point, because we're like a couple of episodes away from the actual conclusion of the tournament. It's been a blast watching Super, you know, definitely, I don't know, just skyrocketing lately. It's been going amazing. I love Super. You know, this couple of episodes have been some of my absolute favorite moments thus far in Super. So I'd like to dedicate today's episode to discussing some of these questions with you guys and possibly giving some answers to these questions. I'd also like to ask you guys some questions that you possibly not have answers to. So I'd like for this to be an interactive video, as it always is. To see your comments in the comment section down below. Now, the fact of the matter is that a huge spoiler alert before I go ahead to proceed with this video. I'll have to re-establish the ending of the God of Destruction tournament, which has indeed been revealed. If you guys have read the title reveals for episodes 38 to 40, they actually gave the legitimate ending for the God of Destruction tournament. So, if you have read it, spoiler alert like I said, but if you haven't, I suggest you guys not watching this video, of course. So, let's get into the main topic of the video. So, the God of Destruction tournament will conclude with declaring victorious the Universe 7 team. Goku is going to defeat Hito-sama. Now, the thing is that with this victory, Champa loses the Super Dragon Balls. Beerus gets to keep the Dragon Balls, and actually Earth won't be removed to Universe 6. A lot of people had speculated that Universe 6 would win, and it would actually serve a higher purpose for once the standard thing wouldn't happen, in a sense, if you know what I mean. But the standard is going to happen. Universe 7 will be declared as victorious. Goku will wipe out Hito with a Kamehameha wave from what it appears to be. Dragon Ball's the key to continuing the story. Now, I have no idea what Beerus could wish for to those Dragon Balls. A lot of people want to see how the dragon looks like, because the dragon, the balls are planetary size, and they're humongous. They're the biggest Dragon Balls you'd ever seen. If you thought the Namekian Dragon Balls were huge, you know, you have no idea what we're talking about here. We're in a different scale of, I don't know, measure here. So, I don't know. Now, the fact of the matter is they could also go the route of what I discussed in a previous video. And if you guys checked it about who's going to be the one that will stop Champa's rampage, it could be,
May the 4th be with you, or May the 5th, or whenever you wind up watching this. More importantly, may you see Captain America Civil War, which opens in theaters everywhere this week. Civil War marks the official introduction of Black Panther to the MCU, but even though Black Panther is one of Marvel's most important heroes, he remains a mystery to most folks. So today on the Dan Cave, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about Black Panther. Don't let the costume fool you. Black Panther is more than just a superhero who kicks ass and takes names with his vibranium claws. He's a master martial artist, an incredibly intelligent scientist and inventor, and he's the ruling monarch of the sovereign nation of Wakanda, which just so happens to be home to vast deposits of vibranium. You know vibranium, the ultra-rare, super-strong substance of which Cap, Shield, and Ultron's body are made. But above all else, he is T'Challa of the Panther tribe of Wakanda. And while Black Panther wasn't the first black superhero, he was the first black comic book character to be the main protagonist of his own ongoing title. Created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, Black Panther first appeared in Fantastic Four number 52 in 1966. As a member of the Panther tribe, the ruling family of Wakanda, T'Challa must not only serve as his country's diplomatic leader, but also must assume the mantle of the Black Panther, the spiritual defender of all of Wakanda. Unfortunately, the country's vibranium supply led to a slew of imperialist assholes trying to get their grubby little mitts on it. Worst of all was the Belgian-born explorer Ulysses Klaue, who you've seen played in Age of Ultron by Andy Serkis. Anyway, when T'Challa was just a child, Klaue came to Wakanda and murdered his father T'Chaka as part of a plan to ransack the country's vibranium supply so that he could make weapons. A self-styled master of sound, Klaue used a specialized weapon which turned sound waves into physical energy blasts. Later in the comics, Klaue would become a being of living sound, and he remained a constant arch-nemesis of Black Panthers over the years. But just put him on mute. Plug your ears. Done. Before becoming a head of state, T'Challa spent many years outside Wakanda honing both his body and his mind. He's considered one of the most brilliant minds on planet Earth, giving the likes of Reed Richards, Tony Stark, and Hank Pym a run for their money. He has a PhD in physics from Oxford, and he's an elite hunter and tracker. Upon returning home, T'Challa underwent a series of trials to test his worthiness as a leader. After eating a special heart-shaped herb, not that herb, get out of here, he communed with the Wakandan Panther god Bast, who deemed him a worthy successor to his father T'Chaka. As a result, T'Challa was bestowed with superhuman strength, speed, agility, stamina, healing, and reflexes. As you'll see in Civil War, dude can run really fast, like 50 miles an hour, according to some sources, which explains that tunnel scene. In the years that followed, T'Challa left Wakanda for New York City to join the Avengers, and he briefly assumed the secret identity of Luke Charles, public school teacher, before resuming his real identity as T'Challa. Black Panther then went on to become a seminal member of the Avengers, helping them defeat villains like the Man-Ape, Ultron, and the Sons of the Serpent, to name a few. However, some back home saw his work with the Avengers as him abandoning Wakanda, putting foreign interests above domestic ones. And this prompted people like the power-hungry Eric Killmonger, badass name, to challenge him for the throne. Lame move. But that isn't your throne, Eric. No, it's T'Challa's. And that's the fact T'Challa drove home by defeating that usurping son of a bee-stang. While ruling can be a lonely job, T'Challa was by no means alone. In addition to his badass retinue of all-female bodyguards, the Dora Milaje, T'Challa could count on his formidable sister Shuri, the goofy U.S. State Department attorney Everett K. Ross, and his eventual wife, the X-Man Storm, to keep him grounded. His wife! Also, T'Challa isn't the only one to have borne the mantle of Black Panther over the years. Famously, after an attack left T'Challa comatose, his sister Shuri stepped up to the plate to become both Princess Regent to the throne of Wakanda and the new Black Panther. It was later revealed that Dr. Doom had attacked T'Challa and was attempting to overthrow Wakanda to get its sweet, sweet vibranium. Silly Doom. Vibranium's for Wakandan kids, not Latvian dictators. After recovering, T'Challa managed to foil Doom's nefarious scheme and reclaim his country alongside his sister Shuri. The side effect, though, of stopping the Metal Madman was that T'Challa rendered all the vibranium ore in the country inert, effectively hamstringing the Wakandan economy, or as I like to call it, the Wakonomy. Wait, please don't stop watching. So what do you do when you're a deposed king with nothing to lose? You go to Hell's Kitchen to take over for Daredevil while Matt Murdock convalesced after being possessed by a demon who made him turn his own neighborhood into a murder-friendly ninja paradise. You know, that old chestnut. That old blind, demonic, murdering chestnut. When T'Challa realized he missed being Black Panther, he sought out the Panther god Bast once more. Although T'Challa wanted his powers back, he didn't want to take them at Shuri's expense. Again! Thankfully, Bast pulled an O. Henry and dropped a major twist on T'Challa, making him her champion and anointing him the ruler of Necropolis, the Wakandan city of the dead, where deceased Black Panthers are buried. Imbued with the knowledge and memories of every Black Panther before him, T'Challa embraces his new role as the King of the Dead, anointing him the ruler of Necropolis, the Wakandan city of the dead, claim his country alongside his sister Shuri. The side effect, though, of stopping the Metal Madman was that T'Challa rendered all the vibranium ore in the country inert, effectively hamstringing the Wakandan economy, or as I like to call it, the Wakonomy. Wait, please don't stop watching. So what do you do when you're a deposed king with nothing to lose? You go to Hell's Kitchen to take over for Daredevil while Matt Murdock convalesced after being possessed by a demon who made him turn his own neighborhood into a murder-friendly ninja paradise. You know, that old chestnut. That old blind, demonic, murdering chestnut. When T'Challa realized he missed being Black Panther, he sought out the Panther god Bast once more. Although T'Challa wanted his powers back, he didn't want to take them at Shuri's expense. Again! Thankfully, Bast pulled an O. Henry and dropped a major twist on T'Challa, making him her champion and anointing him the ruler of Necropolis, the Wakandan city of the dead, where deceased Black Panthers are buried. Imbued with the knowledge and memories of every Black Panther before him, T'Challa embraces his new role as the King of the Dead. What a f***ing title. Though these powers served him well in the Avengers vs. X-Men crossover, they weren't enough to save his marriage to Storm. Later, Black Panther would join the new incarnation of the Illuminati alongside his old foe Namor, an elite group of superheroes that pulled the strings behind major world events and used less than salubrious methods of saving the day. Case in point, when other realities began converging on the main Earth, Earth 616, the Illuminati decided to destroy the other world with a massive bomb. However, when Black Panther balked, his father's spirit came out, cursed him, and stripped him of the powers of the King of the Dead. Don't worry though, T'Challa wouldn't be powerless for long, as the events of the Convergence, which led into Secret Wars, resulted in the death of his sister Shuri. Well, that's actually... it's pretty bad. Before she fell in battle, though, Shuri passed on the Black Panther title and her powers to her brother once more. Still with me? Good. So, during Secret Wars, which I'll explain in another episode sometime because it's batshit crazy, the Marvel Universe goes full-on Game of Thrones. Towards the end of that series, Black Panther appeared wielding the Infinity Gauntlet, which he used to defeat the god King Doom. Later, using the Reality Stone, Black Panther restored both the devastated Wakanda and its depleted vibranium ore to their former glory. And this all brings us to the present day. Now, Black Panther is once again headlining his own series written by Ta-Nehisi Coates and illustrated by Brian Stelfreeze. But what's he like in the movies? Well, He's very masterfully played by Chadwick Boseman. He stands alongside Spider-Man as one of the best parts in what's already a terrific film. With his sleek vibranium suit and his Black Panther powers, he can easily go toe-to-toe with the likes of Captain America and the Winter Soldier. And based on the trailers, he really seems to have it out for Bucky. And if you want to learn more about Civil War, check out last week's episode. Boom! So tell me, what are your favorite Black Panther stories? Which do you want to see on the big screen? Let me know in the comments below, and while you're there, give me a ferocious thumbs up. Rawr. That's all for today's show. Join me next time when I talk about the harrowing story of a friendless real estate agent who begins a bromance with a free spirit that turns out to be a Soviet assassin, and I love you, Manchurian candidate. Until next time, keep on digging. Let's open up the old mailbag, shall we? At MW Shaw asks, why did you say that? Why did you say that name? Wait. Is your mom's name Martha too? Make sure you stay past the credits in Civil War to see Martha awkwardly walk into frame. It's amazing. At Hedgehog39 asks, Daleks?
Congratulations on the film. It's fantastic. Although it's very strange when we show a clip like that, we don't see your face once.
I know.
That could have been anyone. How much of that is you? How much were you actually in that suit jumping around there? It's you. The whole time? All right. How would the suit...
Unless there's certain times where Marvel won't let you do certain things.
Yeah. What's
but
the
they
line?
Have to fight me.
What's the line where they say you can't do this? You're too much. You're too valuable for commodity.
You know, there's insurance involved.
Yeah.
So if it's like you might fall off that car.
Yeah.
And
see, that would be my dream as an actor. If they said you ran over. No, for them to say, for them to come up and say we're so sorry you can't do this. I'd be like, great.
Oh no. You know what? There's certain moments like with this. There's certain things that move to me. Like I've never been on a wire before. The whole harness wire thing, and you say you want to do it, and then when you get to the moment, you're looking down. It's like that's 40 feet to the ground.
Also, you must start thinking of previous wires in your life and be like, I hope this is better than the other wires.
Yes.
I hope this isn't just like a wire coat hanger wire. And this is a very exciting time for Black Panther in general. This is a Marvel superhero, been around a long time, very popular in the comic community, maybe not as famous to people outside of it, and a great time because the comic right now is being written by Ta-Nehisi Coates, right. Fantastic author, and was excited to take on this role and sort of be the first person to play the movie.
Ta-Nehisi just texted me a few minutes before I came, so I'm excited about that as well, just because he's a great writer. He's a great person, and yeah, like the story, the Panther storyline, the T'Challa storyline is so much in it. It's so many possibilities, like as far as the character, as far as what you could do with it. So it was something that like I put into the ether. It's something I wanted to do, and when it happened, it was like, there is a God. You know, it's gotta be. It's gotta
Now, I would guess that you may have been thinking there is a devil when you were in that suit.
Yes.
But that suit looks great. It looks so brutally hot.
Yeah, there's a scene down south. The devil is sitting in the corner. You know, that means it's really hot. We were shooting in Atlanta, Georgia, so we were close to the South Carolina.
Gotcha.
In the midsummer outside. And the suit is hot. If we were in here right now, I would be breathing.
Yeah. There's going to be a new saying, which is, it's so hot, I feel like I'm in the Black Panther suit.
Yeah.
But is this true that there was a cooling system built into the suit?
Yeah, so like, you know, you don't feel the cooling system while you're running around fighting in the heat. To the point. But between takes, there's the option, like you can wear the cooling, you can wear it or not wear it, and I pretty much always chose to wear it. But it's a decision because it's another layer. You know, it's another layer. But when you stop a take, you know, there are these tubes that run throughout the suit, these really small tubes, and they hook you up to like a water pump system, so it runs through the suit, so you feel like you're wetting your pants.
Yeah.
Like you're like, is that me or is that?
And then at some point you're like, hey, who knows? Wait, me or the quadrant?
You're like, I don't care.
I don't care.
Knows.
right, gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate that. Thank you. So first of all, what's it like to be the noobs in the Avengers? Like, y'all are fresh. What's it like to come in like phase 3, holding down Massive Factory?
Yeah, I mean, for me, to know that mythology or the backstories of other characters coming into it it's fun. I mean, it's like an actor's dream to do something you enjoy doing. You get paid well. At the end of the day, like, you know, it's to know that it's really to something else. It's connected to other things. It's fun.
Number 10, Apocalypse. He is reputed to be the first mutant on Earth and also the most powerful. Apocalypse has control of his body on the atomic level to go along with tremendous energy absorption and energy projecting abilities. His powers are greatly enhanced due to his mastery of alien technology, specifically genetics and biochemistry. Number 9, Darkseid. Darkseid is worshipped as an anti-god. He is a supreme conqueror who is one of the greatest threats to the DC universe as he seeks to control all living beings. Darkseid is capable of unleashing unimaginable amounts of energy through his Omega Effect beam. He is also immortal and has displayed immeasurably levels of strength, stamina, endurance, and mental abilities. Number 8, Anti-Monitor. Very little has been revealed about this character. What is known is that AM is the embodiment of all the antimatter in existence. This makes him a threat to the entire omniverse through his near-limitless cosmic powers. It has been alluded that his purpose was to eliminate all matter in the omniverse, leaving only antimatter behind. This would essentially make him God. Anti-Monitor has shown the ability to absorb entire universes, manipulate matter and energy on a cosmic scale and transform the very essence of reality. Number 7, Imperiex. Imperiex is the DC Comics version of Galactus. A being whose plan was to hasten the end of the universe by collapsing galaxies into super black holes and create a new, perfect universe with the corresponding release of energy. Imperiex wields near omnipotent power derived from the Big Bang and has been described as an energy being requiring a material shell. It has shown the ability to project immensely powerful energy blasts and exert its will through a near-infinite supply of probes which are capable of annihilating entire planets. Number 6, Thanos. Sure, many a villain threatens to destroy the universe, but Thanos is the only one who can actually do it. He possesses immeasurable levels of intelligence, strength, endurance, stamina, and durability. Thanos also has exhibited the ability to manipulate enormous amounts of cosmic energy. An obsession with the female embodiment of death led him to gain control of the Infinity Gauntlet, ascending him to godhood. Thanos used his power to destroy half the life in our universe by simply snapping his fingers. Number 5, Galactus. The only survivor of the universe that existed before the Big Bang, Galactus consumes entire planets for nourishment. He has displayed god-like abilities, including manipulation of molecules on a cosmic scale, conversion of matter to energy and vice versa, teleportation across great distances, directing impenetrable force fields, etc., all on levels beyond human comprehension. His intelligence, stamina, and endurance are also beyond any known method of calculation. Galactus is also able to scan the thoughts of virtually any known being. Number 4, The Presence. The Presence is the DC Comics version of the Judeo-Christian God. It is the highest being in their very complex religious cosmology, which includes a second tier of gods such as the new gods, Greek gods, Hindu gods, etc. although it has been described as omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent. It has also been mentioned as having appeared at some point after the beginning of reality as we know it. This ambiguity lowers the presence's ranking as it is generally credited with the creation of only one universe, DC, thus it may or may not be the original creator. Number 3. Abstract entities. They can be considered abstract concepts that have shown the ability to manifest themselves physically in order to reveal themselves or their motives to conscious beings in the omniverse. These entities have at one time or another exhibited godlike power within their respective realms. It is not clear, however, if these entities take action through their own will or if they are controlled by a higher power. Number 2. The Living Tribunal. The Living Tribunal is a virtually omnipotent and omniscient entity whose purpose is to safeguard the omniverse from imbalance. Tribunal is perfectly impartial and has shown the ability to accomplish anything it sets its will to, including the willingness to sacrifice millions to save billions and sacrifice billions to save trillions. There is absolutely no limit to what the Living Tribunal can accomplish in order to maintain balance or eliminate threats. Nevertheless, Tribunal is second to one. Number 1, the one above all. Creator of all realities and all timelines in every single part of the omniverse. The one above all is essentially God, and therefore nothing can possibly exist without him. This makes TOAA more powerful than all beings or entities combined.
Immortal!
Get out of this. Slow down.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to Comic Island. My name is Joey, and today I'm giving you guys what you've all been waiting for. Ever since my mid-title top 10 carbon copy characters, you guys have told me that you wanted a top 10 copycat characters list. So here it is. But before we get into that, I do want to mention that I cover tons and tons of copycat characters. Be warned, guys, this list is basically going to be by doing half. Are you a Marvel fan or are you a DC fan? So let's agree to disagree in the comments below. So without further ado, I present to you Comic Island's top 10 copycats list. Starting off the list, we got the Mirth with the Mouth Deadpool and DC's most deadliest assassin, Deathstroke the Terminator. Unlike most of the characters on this list, we know that Deadpool is a direct copy of Deathstroke. Slade Wilson arrived on shelves in the pages of the New Teen Titans in 1980, and Wade Wilson...
GameX presents 10 gaming hacks every gamer should know. These are some tips and tricks that aren't all necessarily hacks per se, but are designed to make your gaming life a little bit easier. And if you haven't subscribed already, do it. But let's get into it with number 10. This is more of a standard feature, but it's still a trick that not a lot of people know about, using the Vita as a PS4 DualShock controller. If you're in a bind and you want to play with a friend and you don't feel like dropping 50, 60 bucks on a new controller, you can use the Vita in remote play as a second controller. This works for pretty much all games on the PS4 console, and all you have to do is enable remote play and then sign in as a guest. And honestly, once you get used to it, the Vita isn't that bad of a controller. Sure, you gotta deal with the implementation of L2 and R2 with the back touchscreen, but once you get used to that, you got a second controller for free. Or, well, not for free, if you bought a Vita. You know what I mean. Number 9. This one's a bit more weird and outside the box, but it's more of a physical hack, opening up an old controller and storing a flash drive in it to store games. This is a pretty sweet way to have a controller that you can bring around and plug into a friend's computer or your laptop on the go, and be able to play all your games because they're loaded and stored conveniently in your controller. And if you're a real computer hacking genius and a master solderer, maybe you can use this for your PlayStation and your Xbox too. There's a bunch of instructions plastered on the internet and on Reddit, and I linked it below. Try and figure that out. Do it at your own risk though. Number 8. This might seem like a freaking no-brainer, but to a lot of console noobs, maybe it's not. Wired internet connection is key. Get an Ethernet wire and plug in your console, dummy. It's really the only way to improve your ping and reduce lag. I mean, you can put tinfoil on your wireless router, but you don't want to look like a goof. But if you're serious about how you play your games, you should have wired everything, and you'd be surprised how many people don't actually know this. Number 7. Embrace the game mode feature on your TV. Game mode is a screen setting feature on most modern TVs that allow you to remove input lag and in turn minimize the visual lag between the game and the screen. So if you're a hardcore pixel perfect person about getting headshots in Call of Duty or something like that, game mode might be the way to go. While some TVs it doesn't really make a big difference, some it does. So it's definitely worth checking out and tweaking your settings to get the absolute visual best from your TV for your game. The easiest way to do this and get the absolute best settings for your TV for your game is to take the serial number from your TV and Google it, because honestly there's probably a ton of people on forums that have tried to do the same, and you can figure it out from there. Hell, you might have spent $1,000 on a TV, you might as well get it looking absolutely the best for your game console, right? Number 6. Be an absolute baller and buy your games on the go. If you're a busy person on the go with a job, a wife, 2 jobs, a divorce, maybe some stupid kids, you want your games ready to go when you come home at night, downloaded and ready to play. Well, thankfully, with the new console generation, you can spend money with your eyes closed. Both the PSN app and the Xbox Smart Glass app allow you to purchase games, and if you link the account on the actual app with the hardware that you have, you will be able to wake up your system and download your games while you're out and about dealing with your divorced wife, or your 2 kids, or your job. It's really the best way to maximize your playtime instead of coming home, purchasing a game, and watching it download forever. Number 5. If you own any range of PC, Mac, or maybe even a decent Android phone, emulators are a way to play some older games. Just note, downloading emulators and ROMs are technically kind of illegal, so we're not condoning or endorsing any of this, but we are just talking about it because it's out there and people use them. For playing classic NES games, JNES is the most popular emulator, and for Nintendo 64, Project 64. For PlayStation, many people use EPSXE, and for PlayStation 2, a lot of people use PCSX2. There you go, emulators, you can use them, you can play Pokemon on your phone, you can play Super Mario on your computer. Use them if you will, it's a good way to get easy access to classic games, but just know that people made these games. Even if they made them in 1987, they still need to feed their families, I guess, unless their families are dead. It's been a long time, I don't know. Number 4. For optimal playing power and maximum energy, use Mountain Dew and Doritos. Number 3. This is more of a practical life hack type of thing, but if you're a baller on a budget and you need a cool headset stand, use a banana holder. Yeah, whoa, now, a banana holder. Listen, this is a banana holder. You can put your headset on it, and it looks really cool next to your desk. It's simple, it's stylistic, boom, there you go. If you were looking for a special way to attract the opposite or same sex, there you go, banana holder. Number 2. Your eyes are your most important tool in gaming. You should do everything you can to protect them, because at the end of the day, if you don't have eyes, you can't really play games as well, right? Ask Stevie Wonder. Some people swear by gunner optics to protect their eyes while gaming, some people don't, and other people use Flux to save your eyes. This is a free PC program that adjusts your computer screen's brightness and color settings to the time of day to maximize protection of your eyes. If you're sitting in front of a computer or a TV screen all day playing games and doing computer stuff like me, you should definitely maximize your eye protection. Number 1. This is a big one for me. This is a big deal. Xbox Live Gold members with Xbox One get 100 free minutes of phone and voice calls on Skype. Now, with the Xbox Connect voice controls, you make a contact on Skype called Pizza, place a phone number, and then while you're sitting there on your Xbox doing your thing, Xbox, call Pizza. Boom, there you go. You can order a pizza from your Xbox. You're welcome. I think this list is complete now. I don't think you need anything else from me. Some people have actually told me that I'm doing the work of God, and yeah, they're right. So those were some gaming hacks that every gamer should know. Some of them are life hacks, some of them are a bit more technical, but let me know in the comments anything you guys do to make your gaming life easier. Do you have a cool chair? What do you do for cable management? Do you have a cool hack that you use with your computer that helps you play games? Let us know in the comments below. And like I said earlier, definitely subscribe because we're doing lists like this all the time. If you already subscribed and liked this video, we love you and we'll see you next time.
The Breakfast Club.
Hi, it's DJ MV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get to the rumors. Let's talk Rihanna and Drake.
Listen up. It's just in. All the gossip. The Rumor Report.
It's the Rumor Report.
The Breakfast Club.
Well, according to People magazine, a source told them that Rihanna and Drake have been secretly dating for months. He's been showing up on her tour. They have a lot of chemistry when they perform together, but after the concert they hang out all night long. Apparently they were at the Nice Guy. They were celebrating, dancing all night together, very affectionate. Now, even though Rihanna says she's single right now, allegedly, according to this source, they've been keeping things a secret because they want to do it right and keep their relationship private.
God bless him. I hope he's hitting it raw. I hope he gets her pregnant one day.
Okay. Well, yeah, that'd be a cute couple right there. And Drake is going to be hosting Saturday Night Live, by the way. He's going to be hosting, and he's going to be a musical guest, and that's going to happen on May 14th.
And everybody's going to forget about how lackluster Views is, because he's probably going to do such a great job on SNL.
Just like he did last time. He did impersonations of Lil Wayne, Cat Williams. That was a pretty funny one.
I think he hosted last time, though.
This time he's hosting.
Yeah, he's hosting this time. He didn't host last time.
And congratulations again to Drake. 1.2 million in the first week.
Nice.
All right, 50 Cent. He has donated $100,000 to Autism Speaks. Now, he referred to the video of Andrew Farrell that he posted that was in Cincinnati in the airport. The young kid that is autistic, and he was making fun of him, kind of harassing him. Now, his family had asked for 50 to donate $10,000 to Autism Speaks, but instead he went ahead and donated $100,000. He said, "I'm calling on my fellow musicians, actors, entertainers, and all others who may not have fully considered this cause to join together to help in any way they can."
I bet you every rapper that 50 Cent has ever clowned is like, damn, I should have sued with 50 and got some bread.
Well, he didn't get.
I think a lot of them tried.
Now, here's the other thing. They also are trying to show that 50 is not cold-hearted. He's not just randomly making fun of people. They actually posted a picture. He went to the hospital to visit a groom. Chris Brown is the guy's name, not Chris Brown that we know. But he was getting married at the Lowe's Hotel in Philly last month, and they found out that 50 Cent was there also. They asked, "Can you come and visit?" It's Chris Brown's brother, Justin. Chris Brown's brother, Justin.
I'm confused.
Chris Brown is the groom. He was getting married in the same hotel 50 was staying at.
Okay.
They approached 50 because Chris Brown's brother is a huge fan of 50 Cent.
Not the singer Chris Brown.
No, I said not the Chris Brown we know.
I keep trying to confuse it more, again.
I'm confused. You can't just say Chris Brown.
I said not the Chris Brown that we know.
I hear you, but you know, everybody
He's
else.
the groom that was getting married in a hotel. That's not Chris Brown that you know.
We're all hearing Chris Brown. So 50
That happens to be the guy's name. His name also is Chris Brown. His brother Justin was a huge fan of 50, but he suffers from reflex sympathetic dystrophy syndrome, so he's confined to a bed. He has chronic pain, and 50 actually showed up and took some pictures and met him all by himself, no entourage, and stayed there for 90 minutes. So this happened last month.
At hospital or hotel?
At the hospital.
We'll drop one of Clues Bombs for 50 Cent, Justin Bieber, and Chris Brown, all doing good things for the kids in the hospital.
Yes, God.
Salute to them.
All right, Arsenio Hall. He is now suing Sinead O'Connor.
Drop one of Clues Bombs for Arsenio!
A $5 million defamation lawsuit.
Tell her why. This is the good part.
Well, you know, according to Sinead O'Connor,
Arsenio killed Prince.
The police should be investigating Arsenio Hall
Jesus
for giving
Christ.
drugs to Prince. She said that Arsenio Hall is Prince and Eddie Murphy's bitch. She also said that he drugged her as well. Arsenio Hall drugged Sinead O'Connor, so now he's suing. And he says that she is well known for her media antics and for seeking attention through Facebook posts. All right, well, that is your rumor report. I'm Angela Yee.
All right, thank you, Miss E. Charlamagne, who you giving that donkey to?
Listen, it's a foot fondler out there, ladies and gentlemen.
What?
They just caught him. He's got a foot fetish. He likes to fondle feet. His name is Omar Carlton. He needs to come to the front of the congregation. We'd like to have a word with him. Because, you know, Gary Vaynerchuk was here this morning. And, you know, I feel bad when people find their passions early in life, but don't put the proper energy into their passions. They put the wrong energy into their passions. And then stuff like this Omar Carlton situation happens. We'll talk about it.
All right, when we come back, keep it locked. It's the Breakfast Club.
Well, man, I'm gonna tell you why, man. For real, man. Hey, yo, my girl keep coming home smelling like Polo Cologne. So, like, that ain't for girls. Like, I know something's going on, for real. Like, I'm heated about that. And now I need y'all to tell me why y'all mad. Why you mad on the Breakfast Club, for real?
It's B from North.
Hey, B, tell him why you mad.
D, get his letter right.
I'm not at Charlamagne. He talk all like gangster stuff, and he running from little Kim Goons. Just floating around on mine. He running like the old man.
What gangster stuff do I talk, sir? I don't talk gangster stuff. I don't do gangster.
Hello, thank you for tuning in. Welcome to the show. That's Matt behind the camera. We've got Agent Scully here dressed up. Why, you ask? Well, this week it's Halloween, or what Matt and I refer to as the most wonderful time of the year. Sorry, Christmas. Now, for those of you who celebrate Halloween, you know the whole nine, right? There's costumes, there's candy, scary on something extra scary, or at least anciently so. And that, my friends, is the #1 villain in so many stories around the world, the devil.
Satan, Lucifer,
So before we get into this idea of the great adversary of God, let's make a few things clear. The first and foremost of which is, when we're talking about Satan right now, we're talking about it from an academic or folkloric perspective. We're not making any judgment calls about someone's religion or the place that a satanic figure would have in that religion. So without further ado, here are some things that you might not know about Satan. Number one, Satan, or at least the modern interpretation of Satan, is kind of a New Testament thing. Right, I know. You might be saying, Matt, Ben, Scully, wait, what about the book of Job? That's Old Testament. Satan's in there. But therein lies a little bit of shenanigans translation-wise, because, as it turns out, that Satan is referred to as something called Ha-Satan. And Ha-Satan, H-A-Satan, is a word that means something like the challenger. And in this sense, Satan, or Ha-Satan, whoever that might have been, is sent by God as an angel who gives people challenges and obstacles to make it even more important when they choose the good side or the correct action. In this case, in this sense, then what we later call Satan becomes sort of a special agent of God, who's sent there under God's command rather than in conflict with the great creator. And number two, all right, the devil has a lot of names, and that's kind of weird. It's due to religious syncretism in part. And religious syncretism is something that we've talked about before in our videos and a little bit on our audio show. That's when two different religions combine and meld to form another belief system. You can find traces of this in some Voodoo practices, in some Caribbean practices, or when I used to live in Guatemala, some of the folk saints that were actually older pre-Christian deities. So this comes out in the various names for Satan or the devil. One great example would be Baal, or Beelzebub, which you would recognize as Beelzebub, or Lord of the Flies. That comes from an older religion. And some scholars trace this phenomenon all the way back to ancient Babylon, to Zoroastrianism. And in Zoroastrianism, so the theory goes, Second Temple era Judaism ran into an evil deity that is acknowledged in the religion of Zoroastrianism. The name of this deity, or this evil spirit, is Angra Mainya. And the interpretations of this have also changed throughout the years, but the theory is that this encounter, this cultural encounter, is what changed the interpretation of an angel sent by God to challenge people into something much more adversarial. 3. What does the devil look like? Now this might surprise some people, right? Because we have a fairly solid, consistent image of Satan in Christianity and in some degrees in Islam, at least fairly consistent characteristics. But if you're watching this, then you probably already know that the whole hooves and horns thing was not actually in the Bible or in the books of any Abrahamic religions. We also know that the pitchfork the devil was holding is actually a trident, probably borrowed from Greek and Roman gods. And throughout history, the devil has numerous appearances in all kinds of texts. So much so that it's almost as if medieval scholars drawing a picture of the devil just kind of winged it and went with whatever they thought was scary or evil at the time. So let's go back to the hooves and the horns, that bit, right? Well, you would probably think that if the trident came from Greek and Roman gods, then surely that satyr-like appearance did as well. Surely this is a representation of the god Pan. But when did this happen? More recently than you might think. According to an author named Ronald Hutton, this whole Pan influence on the figure of the devil didn't come around until the 19th century when people were aware of neo-paganism. 4. The whole idea that you could sell your soul to the devil in exchange for amazing riches and superpowers. Well, it turns out that kind of traces back to a more recent time too. That goes back to the German legend of Faust, where Faust sells his soul to Mephistopheles in exchange for wealth and women and all this other great stuff. In the canonical stories, the devil serves as a tempter, right, and wants souls, but doesn't necessarily give people amazing frigging powers in exchange for their soul. 5, and this one is a little bit more of a question. Okay, so we know now that a lot of the modern interpretations or perspectives on this figure of Satan actually come from non-biblical sources. They come from things like Dante's Inferno, a work of fiction. They come from legends like Faust. They come from fanciful drawings and ancient manuscripts. That's all, if you think about it, the media of its day. So here's the question. Will recent or more modern interpretations of Satan become things that future generations consider part of the canonical devil? And if so, which interpretations do you think will figure into this larger mythos? For example, Al Pacino in The Devil's Advocate. That's one. Do you have one, Matt?
Dave Grohl in The Pick of Destiny?
Dave Grohl in The Pick of Destiny. Yeah, perhaps. Tim Curry in Legend. Who knows? We'd like to hear from you. What are the most powerful representations in pop culture, at least, or modern cultural fiction of the devil? And there's one other thing, because this, keep in mind, is just an update on the way to our newest episode later this week. Are devil worshippers real? And before you jump right to the comments, keep in mind, we're not talking about like Anton LaVey or people who worship a symbolic idea. Are there people who believe that there is an adversary somewhere in the universe working against God, and are they worshiping it? Spooky, spooky stuff. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned. Take care this Halloween, and if you have an idea for an upcoming topic, please do let us know in the comments. Subscribe.
From UFOs to psychic powers and government conspiracies, history is riddled with unexplained events. You can turn back now, or learn the stuff they don't want you to know. Here are the facts. Humanity has entered the dawn of a new age. Nuclear power plants, the majority of which use uranium, supply over 5% of the world's energy and over 10% of its electricity. In theory, nuclear power is a world-changing energy source, and, as proponents of the IAEA have argued, the only feasible alternative to fossil fuels. In practice, however, it has devastating risks. From Fukushima to Chernobyl and 3 Mile Island, malfunctions at nuclear power plants can poison surrounding areas for centuries. But, argue scientists in India, China, and elsewhere, it doesn't have to be this way. Nuclear power plants can also run on an element called thorium. Thorium is easier to find, produces less waste, and creates less radiation. So why aren't we using it? Here's where it gets crazy. For decades, theorists, pundits, and scientists have argued for the use of thorium as a power source, and though their cause has made some progress, the uranium fuel source still dominates the market. Why? At first glance, the situation seems anomalous. After all, thorium is approximately 3 times more abundant than uranium. To the average person, it may sound incredible that humanity didn't start with thorium in the first place. But the big question is this. Since it's true that thorium does have advantages, is it possible that some organizations have purposely suppressed the technology? The answer, and there is an answer, gets a bit complicated, and we'll need to travel back to the early days of nuclear research to understand how, to borrow a phrase from The Guardian's Natalie Bennett, uranium became the VHS to thorium's Betamax. According to the U.S. Department of Energy, early nuclear research before and during World War II focused on the development of weapons, and it was only later that scientists began focusing on peaceful applications of nuclear technology. Consider that the first atomic bomb was tested in 1945, but the first investigation of peaceful atomic energy did not begin until 1947. Since the original focus of the U.S. research was on military applications, uranium became the superior choice. As Forbes writer Marin Katusa points out, uranium's reaction process generates plutonium-239, which can be weaponized. Thorium, despite its potential advantages, does not. Experts at Oak Ridge National Laboratory in Oak Ridge, Tennessee had already built a thorium reactor by the 1960s, and it was shut down under the Nixon presidency not because it didn't work, but because it didn't produce plutonium. With this context in mind, it's easy to see how the bulk of research and funding went to uranium rather than to thorium, but that doesn't explain why this has remained true in the modern day, and it doesn't have to. Fast forward to 2011. In the wake of the Fukushima meltdown, thorium underwent a revival. Today, government-sponsored scientists across the globe are aggressively pursuing thorium as a fuel source. China is aiming to be the world leader in what is often called the clean nuclear fuel. To be fair, thorium is no silver bullet. It isn't fissile, meaning that it has to be converted to be useful, and it could be used to create weaponry, but doing so would be far more difficult and, generally speaking, not feasible. So, is there a conspiracy to suppress thorium technology? Not an overarching one, at least not at this point. If anything, many enthusiasts, including some government leaders, see thorium as the wave of the nuclear future. Determining the usefulness of thorium will require intense research and an enormous amount of funding. And let's not forget that, as journalist Ambrose Evans Pritchard notes, established companies in the nuclear industry may well have a vested interest in blocking thorium due to their billions of dollars in sunk costs and their possible influence on government officials. Yet for countries such as India, China, and Russia, creating commercially viable thorium technology could change the nature of the energy race and international relations. Whether they succeed is most likely going to hinge on scientific concerns, but when the U.S. was pioneering the field of nuclear research, thorium just wasn't dangerous enough. Why didn't the U.S. push for thorium in the post-Cold War? Was there someone else intervening, such as established conglomerations of big oil or other power industries? If that's the case, then there's something they don't want you to know about thorium. And it may just have cost the U.S. the lead in the future of energy.
Through nuclear energy explorations, man will continue to learn more about this new source of energy.
Hello and welcome to Comic Island. My name is Arden, and today, in celebration of the launch of that awesome Netflix show, we're going to have some fun with the top 10 Daredevil suits. So the rules on this one are pretty straightforward. Any costume used by Matt Murdock or somebody taking on the mantle of Daredevil is eligible for this list. The only suit I'm going to disqualify is the classic red one we all know and love, because it's too obvious. We all know about this distinctive red suit. It's really cool and stands out as one of my favorite superhero costumes out there, so it would just be too easy of a choice. So let's get started. Sit back and get ready for the best of Daredevil's many outfits. Number 10. Daredevil Plaid. From the pages of What If, Volume 2, Issue 17, comes an alternate costume based on what would happen if Daredevil had a dishonest tailor. And when you think about this, it's one of the meanest and funniest jokes at the expense of Matt's own blindness. So I admit this costume is pretty tacky, but that's kind of the point. My own dark sense of humor finds this costume endlessly amusing. It's so mean, but just such as a good little joke, and one that really works. Daredevil has no ability to discern color, nor can he determine shading, even with his sonar-like vision. So realistically, his costume could be in any color, and he wouldn't be any the wiser. It's important to make plot points like this. Yes, Matt has some cool powers, he is a superhero after all, but he also is blind. There are a lot of things this guy can't do. Obviously, this doesn't make him any less of a hero, but it does make him somebody that a blind person can actually relate to, which, considering this is one of only a handful of blind characters within comics, I think is a really great thing. I like moments in the comics that showcase this, and it's something the Netflix series as well as a goofy costume can do really well. So Daredevil Plaid is my 10th favorite costume because it's hilarious, but also speaks about what's compelling about this character. Number 9. Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Another costume from the first volume of the What If publication. This suit features a Matt Murdock who joined S.H.I.E.L.D. Wearing a black costume closer to the idea of a S.H.I.E.L.D. uniform over a Daredevil suit, I really like this particular outfit. It stands out, but it's still instantly recognizable thanks to the blindfold and characteristic red hair. And yeah, I just really like this one. It's low on the list because I admit it barely looks like a Daredevil outfit, but something about it really works for me. The costume instantly tells you everything about this character. It works well for me and fits in with something refined throughout the clip. That a simple costume like this works better than one with too much design and too much flair to it. This one says a lot about the character without being overly stylized or using too much detail. So for these reasons, this suit is my 9th favorite Daredevil costume. Number 8. Disciple. Another What If costume. Don't worry, they're all like this. The Disciple suit features a Matt Murdock who was trained by none other than Doctor Strange. Like this simple costume goes a long way to convey everything you need to know about this particular character. It's still instantly recognizable as Daredevil, with a clear mystical side to it, while also reminding me of the Hand a little bit. The mask really sells me on this outfit, and almost demonic in nature. This outfit really puts the devil in Daredevil, though it won't be the only costume on this top 10 that I feel does this. Number 7. Marvel 1602. Now this one is cool. In this story, appropriately named for taking place in the year 1602, we see a Matt Murdock with similar powers and abilities to his mainstream counterpart, but, given the time period, serves as a minstrel of sorts for his civilian life. This outfit isn't much of a superhero costume and rather a collection of era-appropriate clothing, but the red vest, blindfold, and frizzy red hair still make it instantly clear that this is Daredevil, so it really looks good and works in my eyes. I love the 1602 comics, so to a degree I am biased here, but I think this is one of the most distinct and coolest Daredevil costumes out there, easily giving it the number 7 spot on my list. Number 6. Earth X Daredevil. Now this one looks awesome. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of Earth X because I've always looked at it as a kind of rip-off of Kingdom Come. But I have gotten requests to talk more about this comic, so I likely will be covering Earth X in more detail one day. Regardless, this outfit looks amazing. I love the almost jack-o'-lantern look of this mask, as well as the Mephisto-like cowl this version of Daredevil wears. The suit isn't worn by Matt Murdock, who in this story had died by the time of this comic's events. His identity is unknown, and is considered by fans to possibly be Foggy Nelson, Kurt Connors, or, the idea I find most interesting, Wade Wilson. He worked alongside Captain America against the Skrulls, as well as multiple duplicates of himself. In spite of my aforementioned misgivings about Earth X, this version of Daredevil has an interesting story with a mysterious background I find quite compelling. And overall, this is one of my very favorite outfits for our hero. Number 5. Daredevil 2099. Now this suit is one I just adore. hailing from the 2099 run of comic books. This one was worn by a man named Eric Nelson. This person gained his powers after being exposed to a device that enhanced his sensory abilities, and he set out to fight the mega corporations in 2099, like the other superheroes of this time period. And just look at this one. I admit it's pretty straightforward, but I just love it for some reason. The all-black version of Daredevil's outfit looks great, and I feel it really works well with the whole idea of striking fear into his enemies. It looks practically demonic, and I think that works well with this superhero. Few other comic book characters, especially in Marvel and DC, are quite as associated not just with demons, but the devil himself. This makes him a unique and fun superhero, so I appreciate costumes that can highlight this association. I also really like the glowing stick things he uses as weapons. I don't know what those are, but they look so cool and go with the outfit perfectly. This really is one of my favorite among Daredevil's outfits. Number 4. Marvel Knights 2099. So some of you might be surprised to learn there are actually 2 versions of Marvel 2099. There's the main one, which most of you probably know about from Miguel O'Hara, and then there's Marvel Knights 2099, an off-shot, short-running miniseries featuring designs and alternate takes on the original Marvel 2099. And my absolute favorite from the Marvel Knights series has to be Daredevil. And who created this awesome character alongside some really talented artists? Oh, well, nobody in particular, just Robert Kirkman. Yes, that Robert Kirkman. So, appropriately, this is a pretty awesome story. This version of Daredevil's suit was worn by Samuel Fisk, a descendant of Wilson Fisk, also known as the Kingpin. Disgusted at his ancestors' actions, and inspired by the Kingpin's greatest enemy, Samuel took on the mantle of Daredevil, using his vast fortune to design costume and equipment to tackle the future's criminals and redeem his family's violent history. Considering how this guy has only appeared in 2 comics, only one of which I read a long time ago, it's amazing that the suit left such an impression on me, but it's always stuck in my memory. It's so cool, I knew this one was going to be in the top 10, before I had to do any research on Daredevil's many outfits. 2 versions of this outfit appear in the comic, both of which I really like. The one featured on the cover looks really good and is such a great depiction of the character, while this one, featured in the comic story, also looks amazing. It's the best version of an armored Daredevil I've ever seen, and I love how much the horns stick out of his costume. It's a great outfit and one of my favorite of all time. Kudos to Robert Kirkman and the artist on this suit, because in spite of it barely being used in Marvel whatsoever, I think it's still one of the most phenomenal Daredevil characters and costumes that has ever been published. Number 3. Shadowland. Alright, you guys can get all mad at me for giving this outfit the number 3 spot, but I really like the Shadowland outfit. Now let's be clear, I'm giving this to the Shadowland suit, not the story itself. While the story was cool, it was in a lot of ways disappointing, especially in the latter half of it. But I think this is still one of my favorite costumes I've ever seen Daredevil wear. It just looks so good. The black works well against his logo, and the horns stick out nicely in a way that perfectly conveys the fact that Matt has been corrupted by the Hand. This outfit instantly stands out in my eyes as one of the coolest suits I've seen Matt wear. I don't have much else to add on this one. It just looks great, even when he fell under the influence of the Beast. The whole idea of Matt being possessed was silly, but hey, at least he looked good doing it. Number 2. Pre-Daredevil costume. First appearing in the Man Without Fear limited series, and featured heavily in the first season of the Netflix Daredevil series, this outfit, worn by Matt Murdock before he really became Daredevil, has to be one of my favorite outfits. There isn't a lot to this costume. It's just a guy in a mask and some dark clothing, but man, does it work well in my eyes. The mask makes him somehow instantly recognizable as Daredevil, without his horns, a hint of red, or anything else in common with the classic red suit, which is kind of amazing. I don't know how the artists and the producers managed this, but there it is. I think it's because of the mask. It looks great as a sort of pre-superhero, vigilante-style outfit, showcasing the fact that Matt has absolutely no need to leave his eyes uncovered. It feels sort of cobbled together, and it reminds me of what Spider-Man wore during his brief tenure as a wrestler, but on a much, much cooler level. And boy, did they recreate it nicely for the Netflix series. It's astonishing how well they did in accurately recreating this outfit. In both the TV show and this comic series, this suit works well, and serves as one of my all-time favorites. But seriously, somebody's going to have to explain to me how Charlie Cox fought people wearing this thing in the Netflix series, and somehow made it look like he knew what he was doing. I doubt he could see that well in this thing, if at all, and it looks like it would be really hard to pull off, even with the usual tricks of filming. Could you imagine filming fight scenes blindfolded? It sounds really difficult. Number 1. Daredevil Yellow. Well, for those who are fans of Daredevil, this probably isn't much of a surprise. For the first 6 issues of his initial run, as well as on a few occasions since then, Matt wore this costume instead of the classic red one we all know and love. It was also featured in Daredevil Yellow, a great comic and a truly worthy read. But I actually have a lot of love for this outfit. I think this suit just straight up looks great. Aside from the obvious example, a few costumes heavily feature yellow, and it's kind of for a good reason. But in my eyes, Matt totally pulls this one off. By all merits, it's still a Daredevil outfit, easily recognizable while also serving as a totally unique costume and color scheme. Maybe I'm the only one who likes this costume as much as I do, but it's almost as important to Daredevil's identity as the red suit. Originally made of
Today's episode of Variant is brought to you by GoDaddy. Today on Variant, it's Avengers vs. the Justice League. Yeah, that's happening. Welcome to Variant, where we love comics more than I feel bad for Kanye West and Kim Kardashian's future child. I'm your host, Eris Quinones. Today, we're going to answer one of the age-old comic questions. Who would win in the fights, the Justice League or the Avengers? This question is easily one of the most debated questions amongst comics fans, so let's take a journey through the land of comics and figure this out. You, me, us, together. It's the world's greatest heroes up against Earth's mightiest heroes. So, as they say in Mortal Kombat, fight! So for those of you who don't know how these versus episodes work, let me get you up to speed. It's up to you guys to decide who the winner is. I just break down both of the teams, giving you their origins, powers, skills, and just all-around info on the teams and the members of each team. Then I'll put a poll up on our Variant Facebook page for you guys to vote and decide who the winner is. And I'll announce the winner on the show the following week. So basically, I'm just a referee in this and lay down the facts. Let's start with the Justice League. The Justice League first appeared in Brave in the Bold, issue 28 in 1960. In this issue, the Justice League have to band together to fight an evil alien called Starro, which they defeated by sprinkling lime all over his body. And not like lime juice lime, like lime you put on your lawn lime. And I don't know, don't ask, it was the 60s. Although, this is the first appearance of the Justice League. The Justice League's origin wasn't revealed till Justice League of America, issue 9. They've also been known as simply JLA and, of course, Justice League of America. Recently, however, DC has changed that, as Justice League of America in the comics now is a completely different team altogether. There's also been many incarnations or subsections of the teams over the years, like Justice League Europe, Justice League International, Justice League Task Force, Justice League Elite, Justice League Dark, and so on and so forth. The Justice League originally featured Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Barry Allen, Flash, Hal Jordan, Green Lantern, Aquaman, and Martian Manhunter. The team roster has been rotated throughout the years with characters such as Green Arrow, Captain Marvel, Black Canary, the Atom, Hawkman, Elongated Man, Red Tornado, Firestorm, Zatanna, Hawkgirl, Dr. Fate, and dozens of others. Ever since DC's New 52 relaunch, the team was given a new origin where they formed due to Darkseid invading the Earth. But the original 7 members stayed the same minus Martian Manhunter. He was replaced by Cyborg, who is now an original member. As for Martian Manhunter, he is now part of Stormwatch and even more recently, Justice League of America. But now that I've given you a little bit of Justice League's history, let's break down the Avengers history. The team made its debut in the Avengers issue 1. In the issue, Asgardian trickster and brother of Thor, Loki, is out to kill his brother once again. He starts by tricking Hulk into doing something bad, which causes the other heroes to come looking for him, but then long story short, they realize it's Loki behind behind it all and come together to stop him, which of course in the end, the Avengers are officially formed. The team originally consisted of Iron Man, Ant-Man, Wasp, Thor, Hulk, and Captain America by issue 4, but the team has later gone on to have characters like Vision, Hawkeye, Black Widow, Black Panther, Scarlet Witch, Wolverine, Miss Marvel, Black Knight, Spider-Man, Red Hulk, and so on. Pretty much everyone in the Marvel Universe has been an Avenger at one time or another. Just like the Justice League, there's also been many different incarnations of the Avengers, such as New Avengers, Mighty Avengers, and Dark Avengers. But most recently, Uncanny Avengers, which was formed after the events of Avengers vs. X-Men, is kind of awesome. So now that I've given you a brief history of each team as a whole, it's time to break down each core member of the teams. So let's talk some powers, starting with the Justice League. First member is Superman. He is definitely their strongest member and is known as the strongest being on the planet. Superman is also arguably the strongest / most powerful superhero in all of comics, period. And as I've said before on the show, he pretty much has super everything. And on top of that, he has laser vision, x-ray vision, frost breath, and he can fly. So the list just keeps going on and on. There's basically nothing he can't do. Next, we have Batman. He's a master of almost all, if not all, forms of martial arts. He's a master of acrobatics. He's the world's greatest detective. He's also one of the smartest superheroes out there. He's a billionaire, meaning he has resources to basically anything he freaking wants, and he has some of the best tech and gadgets that would even make Secret Ops people at Area 51 be like, now hold that. Superman has also described Batman as the most dangerous man on Earth, which, if Superman is saying that, you know he's pretty much the most VA person alive. They have Wonder Woman, who's pretty much the female equivalent of Superman, minus some things here and there. She has indestructible bracelets that she uses as shields that were made from the remains of Zeus's shield, and a lasso that can make any man tell the truth once caught by it. And of course, she can fly. We have Martian Manhunter, who also possesses a wide range of powers, including telepathy, shape-shifting, projecting energy, x-ray vision, phasing, invisibility, flight, and super strength. Needless to say, he's freaking awesome. Then you have Green Lantern, who can fly and make anything he can think of using his power ring. And because of his ring, he has a vast knowledge of all the universe. Pretty much the only weakness Green Lantern has is himself, as the ring's only limitations lie within the wearer's imagination and willpower. Then you have the Flash, who's the world's fastest man. He's so fast he can vibrate straight through solid objects and also travel through time. He also can react at light speeds, as well as having superhuman endurance that allow him to run incredible distances without tiring. Then there's Aquaman, who of course can control marine life and breathe underwater. He possesses superhuman durability, high enough to remain unaffected by the immense pressure and cold temperature of the ocean depths. This also makes him tough enough to be invulnerable to machine gun fire, and he also has superhuman strength. And finally, Cyborg. This is now a founding member as one of the original 7. He can open boom tubes to other dimensions, which him and the rest of the Justice League can travel through. He can access any electronic device on the planet, meaning he can hack any computer and get info on anything or anyone. He also has super speed, super strength, and so on. But now that I listed the members of the Justice League stats, let's move on to the Avengers. But first, a word from our sponsor. GoDaddy Web Hosting delivers the most reliable hosting available. They call it 4th generation hosting, and it offers many features that competitors don't. And right now, they've got a great deal going that saves you some serious cash. Use the code VARIANT1 to get 10% off your order. Now let's assemble the Avengers. First one being the first Avenger himself, Captain America. Captain America's powers include increased strength, agility, speed, endurance, and even healing, all due to the super soldier experiment he was a part of. Enhance all of his bodily functions to the peak of human efficiency. He's also an expert in martial arts and hand-to-hand combat, not to mention he has an indestructible shield made of vibranium that he also uses as a weapon. Next we have Iron Man. He's an inventive genius who's an expert in the fields of mathematics, physics, chemistry, computer science, electrical engineering, and mechanical engineering. But obviously most notable is his suit of armor. His armors give him the capability to fly, shoot repulsor blasts from his palms. It even gives him super strength. Pretty much anything you can think of, he's made an armor for it at one point or another. Now we have the god of thunder, Thor. Thor possesses a very high resistance to physical injury. Thor also has keen senses that allow him to track objects traveling faster than light. He has extreme stamina and can battle for months on end without any form of sleep or rest. Thor can also summon the elements of weather like lightning, rain, wind, snow, and uses his hammer Mjolnir to focus this ability. There's also Ant-Man, who is a scientific genius who has a PhD in biochemistry. He has the ability to shrink down to the size of an ant. He can also control ants using the powers within his helmet. Then you have his lady level Wasp, who can also shrink down to the size of an insect and has stinger blasts she can shoot from her hands. Then there's Hawkeye, who's a master with the bow and arrow. There's pretty much no target he can't hit. He's also at the very peak of human conditioning. He's an exceptional fencer adventurer, acrobat, and grandmaster marksman. Also, there's Black Widow. She's a world-class athlete, gymnast, acrobat capable of numerous complex maneuvers and feats, and highly trained in martial arts. Also, she has been enhanced by biotechnology that makes her body resistant to aging and disease and heals at an above human rate. And finally, the green giant of the group, and by far the muscle of the Avengers, the Hulk. Putting it plain and simple, Hulk is the strongest there is. He possesses potential for limitless physical strength depending on how angry he gets. Hence the term, the madder Hulk gets, the stronger Hulk gets. He also can jump extremely long distances and has also been known to have other abilities through the years. But for the most part, he's an unstoppable brute who you don't want to piss off. Hulk would also be the one most likely to fight DC's powerhouse, Superman. But that's it, and now I'm officially winded because that was a crap ton of superheroes to run through. And I'm tired now. No, I'm not. So now that you guys have info on each team, head over to our very Facebook page and cast your vote on who would win in the face-off. Earth's mightiest heroes, the Avengers, or the world's greatest heroes, the Justice League.
Hello? Hello?
That is not the way to kill time.
I might be out there in like 15, 20 minutes. Yeah.
An ally has been slain.
Yeah. Oh, I was out there yesterday. Oh, you ready for me to copy your stuff? You want me to copy your stuff, or you selling me some CDs?
Your middle tower has been destroyed.
Okay, alright, yeah, I remember. Yeah, that you wanted me to copy you some CDs, right? I just want to make sure. Alright. Alright. I really need some CDs. Yeah, I need a ride to the block. All my stuff at the store. Am I off? Off of Hooper Road? Where Sharon Hill's at?
An ally has been slain.
I see my daughter come right now. I'll call her. But oh, it's by Bella Notion with Sharon Hill's at. Well, hoop you gotta turn off on hoop.
Even time has an edge.
Yeah, right on
Your
hoop.
middle Phoenix is under attack.
Not too far, cause once you go around that curve, my house is bit. I stand on some Betty Smothers.
Your middle Phoenix has been destroyed.
I can, this your number, I can call you back? Alright, I'm gonna call you when I'm leaving so you can meet me now. Yeah, at the store. Alright, I'm about to ask her right now. Alright. Jazz, you think you can drop me off? You think you can drop me off?
First up for Wednesday, March 6th, we have Earth 2, Issue 10. This series has been great so far, and it's really cool to see our superheroes in another reality. And next, we have Green Arrow, Issue 18. This is the...
Huh? Okay, well, let's go. Yeah. Good for the zombies, you know. Yes.
Killing spree. Your Titan is under attack. An ally has been slain.
Come on. Come on. Huh?